On a bright morning in the vastness of space, a human space station floated near the edge of a lively planet. Inside, a group of engineers and pilots gathered around a large viewing window. They watched as a fleet of alien ships approached. The ships were colorful, each one adorned with strange symbols and bright lights. But to the humans, they looked outdated and clumsy. "Look at those ships!" One engineer laughed, pointing at the alien vessels. "They look like they belong in a museum." The others joined in, chuckling.
"Yeah!"
"I bet they can't even keep up with our fleet," another added, smirking. The humans felt a mix of curiosity and amusement as the alien fleet drew closer. As the ships landed, the aliens emerged. They were a mix of different species, tall and short, scaly and furry. Each one had a unique appearance, but they all shared an air of confidence. One of the aliens, a green-skinned being with bright yellow eyes, stepped forward. He raised his voice, speaking in a language filled with strange sounds. A human translator quickly interpreted for the group. "We are the Zenthari. Our fleet is the strongest in the galaxy," the alien boasted, puffing out his chest. "You humans are lucky we allow you to see our power." The humans couldn't help but burst into laughter. "Pathetic," shouted one pilot. "Your ships look like they've seen better days." The Zenthari leader frowned, his eyes narrowing. "You mock us? We will show you true strength. We challenge you to a contest of skill and power." The challenge hung in the air, stirring excitement among the humans. They exchanged glances, grinning at the idea of proving their superiority. The leader of the human team, a bold woman named Captain Reyes, stepped forward. "We accept your challenge, but be warned, we won't go easy on you." The Zenthari leader nodded, his expression shifting from anger to a sly smile. "Prepare to be embarrassed, humans. You will learn to respect the Zenthari fleet." As both sides prepared for the contest, the humans felt a rush of confidence. They had faced many challenges before and always emerged victorious. In their minds, this would be no different. They gathered in their control room, discussing their strategy. "Let them show off their tricks," one pilot said, shaking his head. "We know how to win. Our ships are built for speed and efficiency." Captain Reyes nodded, her eyes gleaming with determination. "Let's show them what real skill looks like. We'll rely on our training and teamwork." Outside, the aliens were busy preparing their ships for the contest. They were confident, eager to prove their might. However, as they practiced their maneuvers, it became clear that their ships were not as nimble as they claimed. "Look at them!" one human shouted from the viewing window. "They can't even fly straight." Laughter erupted among the humans again. They felt secure in their abilities and continued to mock the Zenthari. The tension grew between the two groups, each side convinced of their superiority. But deep inside the humans, a small worry began to grow. They had faced many foes, but the Zenthari were unlike any they had encountered. Their technology was different, and while the humans laughed, they couldn't ignore the fact that the Zenthari had the numbers. Captain Reyes noticed the change in the atmosphere. "Stay sharp, everyone," she reminded her crew. "Don't let your guard down just because they seem weak. We must be ready for anything." The day of the contest approached, and the air was filled with anticipation. The humans still laughed, but a hint of seriousness was now mixed in. They knew the time to prove themselves was near. As the alien ships prepared to demonstrate their power, the humans gathered their courage. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, but little did they know that the real test was about to begin. Their laughter would soon fade, replaced by a shocking twist they could never have imagined. The day of the contest had finally arrived. The humans and aliens gathered at a designated area in space, where bright lights illuminated the scene. The Zenthari fleet floated confidently, their ships gleaming under the artificial sun. The humans, in their sleek vessels, felt ready to show the aliens what they were made of. As the crowd of both species settled, the Zenthari leader stepped forward. "Welcome, humans! Today we will demonstrate the true power of the Zenthari fleet. Prepare to be amazed." His voice boomed through the speakers, echoing in the vast emptiness of space. Captain Reyes stood at the front of her crew, her arms crossed. "Let's see what they've got," she muttered, her confidence unwavering. The humans exchanged smirks, ready for the show. The aliens initiated their demonstration. One by one, their ships took turns performing impressive maneuvers. They spun, twisted, and glided through space, making sharp turns that seemed to defy the laws of physics. But as they showcased their abilities, the humans noticed something strange. Bumping into each other? One pilot asked, raising an eyebrow. Laughter erupted among the humans as they watched the aliens struggle to maintain control. One ship veered off course and nearly collided with another, causing a loud crash. Pathetic. Someone shouted, unable to contain their amusement. The Zenthari leader's face turned red with frustration. "This is only practice! Just wait for the real challenge!" he shouted, trying to regain control of the situation. As the demonstration continued, the humans became more confident. They whispered among themselves, recalling their own training and skills. Captain Reyes smiled. "All right, it's our turn now. Let's show them what we can do." With a signal from Reyes, the humans activated their ships. One by one, they soared into the open space, displaying their superior speed and agility. The humans executed precise maneuvers, zigzagging through the air with ease. They worked as a well-oiled machine, their coordination evident in every move. "Look at that!" an alien shouted, eyes wide with surprise. "They move so quickly!" As the humans performed flips and sharp turns, the crowd cheered. Their ships zipped past the Zenthari, leaving the aliens in awe. The humans felt exhilarated, feeding off the energy of the moment. But as the humans reveled in their success, Captain Reyes sensed a shift in the air. "Stay focused, everyone," she warned. "We can't underestimate them just yet." Suddenly, the Zenthari leader called for the next phase of the contest. "Now we will test our firepower," he announced, a glint of determination in his eyes. The Zenthari ships began to activate their weapons, ready to showcase their firepower. Captain Reyes frowned, feeling a twinge of anxiety. "All right, we need to prepare our defenses. This could get serious." The Zenthari unleashed a barrage of colorful energy blasts into space. The explosions lit up the area, creating a dazzling display. However, as the blasts flew toward the human ships, the humans easily dodged them, demonstrating their quick reflexes. "Is that all they've got?" One human laughed, feeling invincible. But then a surprising event occurred. The Zenthari leader signaled for a new tactic. Instead of random shots, the Zenthari ships formed a tight formation, coordinating their attacks. Suddenly, a synchronized wave of energy blasts came hurtling toward the humans. "Whoa!" Captain Reyes shouted as the brilliant blasts converged on their location. "Move now!" The humans scrambled to maneuver their ships, but the unexpected tactic caught them off guard. They quickly adjusted, but several ships were hit, causing them to spin out of control. "Regroup! Regroup!" Reyes yelled, her voice steady despite the chaos. The humans fought to regain control, realizing that their overconfidence might cost them dearly. As the dust settled, both sides began to understand the stakes of their contest. The laughter that filled the air earlier had faded, replaced by a tense silence. Each side recognized that they had underestimated the other in different ways. The contest was far from over, and the true battle for respect and strength was just beginning. The atmosphere buzzed with tension after the intense showdown. Humans and Zenthari stood in their ships, both sides feeling the weight of what had just happened. The laughter from before was gone, replaced by a serious silence. Everyone knew that the contest was more than just a game now. It was a matter of pride. As the humans regrouped, Captain Reyes gathered her crew for a quick strategy meeting. "We need to be smarter. They showed us they can fight back. Let's not underestimate them again," she said, her voice strong. The crew nodded, determination in their eyes. Meanwhile, the Zenthari were also in their ships, discussing their next move. The leader, still fuming from the earlier embarrassment, pointed a finger at his crew. "We must show them our strength! No more mistakes!" he yelled, anger fueling his words. But just as both sides prepared for the next phase of the contest, alarms began to blare throughout the space station. The red lights flashed, casting an eerie glow on the faces of the humans. "What's happening?" one pilot shouted, panic creeping into his voice. "Check the monitors," Captain Reyes ordered. The crew rushed to their screens, their eyes wide with shock. A large, unknown fleet appeared on the edge of the star system. The ships were menacing and sleek, their dark colors contrasting sharply with the bright lights of the human and Zenthari vessels. "Who are they?" someone whispered, fear evident in their voice. "They're not friendly," Reyes replied, her heart racing. The new fleet began moving closer, and a sense of dread filled the air. The Zenthari leader saw the approaching ships, too. "What is that?" he demanded, his confidence wavering. "This was not part of our challenge." The new fleet, armed with powerful weapons, soon initiated a surprise attack. Energy blasts erupted from their ships, targeting both the humans and the Zenthari. The explosions lit up the space around them, a chaotic mix of colors and sounds. "Evasive maneuvers!" Captain Reyes shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. The humans quickly piloted their ships away from the blasts, but many found themselves struggling to escape the onslaught. "Stay together!" Reyes yelled, trying to maintain control. "We need to regroup and fight back!" As the humans fought for survival, the Zenthari leader realized they needed to work together. "Humans! We must join forces!" he shouted, desperation creeping into his voice. The earlier rivalry felt small compared to the threat they now faced. Reluctantly, Reyes nodded. "Agreed. We can't let them win. Let's combine our firepower." The humans and Zenthari quickly formed a battle plan. They would work together, using their different strengths to create a united front. The Zenthari ships would focus on offense, while the humans would coordinate defense and strategy. As the battle raged on, the newly allied fleets fought back with everything they had. The humans aimed carefully, shooting down enemy ships with precision. The Zenthari unleashed powerful blasts, their ships flying through the chaos with newfound purpose. "Look out!" one of the human pilots shouted as an enemy ship approached. But before he could react, a Zenthari ship zoomed in, destroying the threat. "Nice save!" he exclaimed, surprised at the teamwork. The battle continued, but slowly the humans and Zenthari began to turn the tide. They learned to rely on each other, adapting their tactics as the fight progressed. Amid the chaos, Captain Reyes caught a glimpse of the Zenthari leader. Their eyes met, and in that moment both understood the gravity of their situation. They were no longer just opponents, they were allies fighting for survival. As the enemy fleet began to retreat, the humans and Zenthari cheered. They had overcome a great threat together, proving that unity was more powerful than pride. But deep down, they all knew that this battle was just the beginning. New challenges awaited them, and they would have to face them as one. With the enemy fleet retreating, Captain Reyes and the Zenthari leader exchanged nods of respect. They had learned to appreciate each other's strengths, forging a bond that would change their perspectives forever. Little did they know, this alliance would lead to even greater challenges ahead. The energy in space was electric, as the humans and Zenthari prepared for the final showdown against the enemy fleet. The two groups had quickly formed a bond through the heat of battle, united by their common goal. Captain Reyes stood at the helm of her ship, her mind racing with strategies and ideas. She glanced at the Zenthari leader, who was equally focused. "Are we ready?" Reyes asked, her voice steady but filled with determination. "Ready as we can be," the Zenthari leader replied, his eyes narrowed with resolve. "We will show them the true power of our alliance." The enemy fleet was regrouping, and from their ships, dark clouds of smoke billowed into space. Their advanced technology gave them an advantage, but the humans and Zenthari were prepared to counter every move. "Let's stick to the plan," Reyes instructed. "Zenthari ships will take the lead, while we cover them from behind. Remember, teamwork is key." As the enemy ships moved closer, the Allied fleet positioned itself in a wide formation. The Zenthari began their assault, launching powerful energy blasts toward the enemy. Bright colors filled the dark void of space as explosions erupted. "Now, humans!" the Zenthari leader shouted, urging the human ships into action. Reyes signaled her crew, and they unleashed their own volley of firepower. The two fleets moved in harmony, their attacks blending together like a well-rehearsed dance. "Look out!" one human pilot shouted as an enemy ship targeted Reyes's vessel. But before the blast could reach her, a Zenthari ship swooped in, taking the hit instead. "Thanks for the save!" Reyes exclaimed, feeling a rush of adrenaline. She knew that they were truly stronger together. The battle raged on, with both sides trading blows. The humans navigated their ships with precision, using their speed and agility to outmaneuver the larger enemy vessels. The Zenthari ships, on the other hand, fired heavy blasts, their power shaking the very fabric of space. Suddenly, a massive enemy ship emerged from the chaos, dwarfing the others. It was heavily armed and ready to crush anyone in its path. Reyes felt her heart race. "We need to take that ship down," she shouted. "If we don't, it will destroy everything." The Allied fleets focused their fire on the giant enemy ship. The Zenthari leader coordinated their attacks. "Aim for the weak spots. Work together!" he yelled, his voice filled with urgency. Reyes observed the enemy ship closely, searching for an opening. "There! The lower side!" she shouted, spotting a gap in the armor. "That's our chance." The Zenthari ships followed her lead, pouring fire into the weak spot. The energy blasts connected, creating a massive explosion that shook the enemy vessel. But it wasn't enough. The giant ship continued to fight back. "Push forward!" Reyes commanded, rallying her crew. "We can't let up now!" The Allied forces pressed forward, dodging enemy blasts as they closed in on their target. The Zenthari ships moved alongside the humans, their crews working in perfect synchronization. Together they fired another wave of attacks, striking the enemy ship with renewed force. In a moment of clarity, Reyes realized the importance of their bond. "We can do this!" she shouted. "For our worlds!" With one final coordinated strike, the Zenthari and human ships unleashed everything they had. The explosion lit up the darkness of space, and the massive enemy ship shuddered before breaking apart, debris scattering across the void. Cheers erupted from both fleets. The victory felt surreal, but the battle was far from over. Reyes and the Zenthari leader exchanged proud smiles, their respect for each other growing deeper. But as they celebrated, a new alarm blared. "Look! More enemy ships are incoming," a pilot yelled, pointing to the radar. The situation had just escalated. "We have to regroup and prepare for another fight," Reyes warned, feeling a mix of dread and determination. The alliance they had forged would be put to the test once again. As they readied themselves for the next wave of attacks, both humans and Zenthari knew one thing. They had to face the future together. The battle for their survival was just beginning, and they would fight as allies, proving that unity could overcome any challenge. The battle against the enemy fleet had raged on longer than anyone had anticipated. The allied forces of humans and Zenthari fought bravely, their ships moving in unison like a well-practiced team. Yet, despite their efforts, the new enemy fleet continued to press forward, their numbers seemingly endless. Captain Reyes stood at the front of her ship, sweat beading on her forehead. "We need a plan!" she shouted to her crew. "We can't keep fighting like this forever!" The Zenthari leader aboard his ship nearby nodded in agreement. "We must find a way to cut off their reinforcements. If we can do that, we have a chance." Just then, an idea sparked in Reyes's mind. "What if we set a trap?" she suggested, her eyes lighting up. "We could lure them into a specific area and hit them with everything we've got." The Zenthari leader raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "That could work, but we will need to coordinate perfectly to pull it off." Reyes gathered her crew and relayed the plan. "We'll fake a retreat, drawing them into the asteroid belt nearby. Once they're in position, we hit them hard." With renewed determination, the Allied fleets began their maneuver. They pulled back, pretending to flee, while the enemy ships pursued eagerly, believing they had the advantage. The humans and Zenthari navigated through the stars, skillfully steering their vessels toward the asteroid field. "Now!" Reyes shouted as they entered the belt. The asteroids floated ominously, creating a perfect hiding spot. The Allied forces quickly took cover behind the large rocks, their hearts racing. As the enemy ships entered the belt, the humans and Zenthari unleashed a sudden wave of attacks. Energy blasts erupted from hidden positions, striking the enemy vessels before they had a chance to react. The enemy was caught off guard, and confusion spread among their ranks. "Keep the pressure on!" the Zenthari leader yelled, rallying their forces. The Alliance fought with everything they had, focusing their fire on the disoriented enemy. The asteroid field became a chaotic battleground. Ships darted around massive rocks, energy blasts lighting up the darkness. The humans and Zenthari worked together seamlessly, covering each other and striking with precision. Slowly, they began to turn the tide. Captain Reyes felt a surge of hope. "We can do this!" she shouted, her voice strong and filled with conviction. "For our worlds!" With every explosion, the enemy's numbers began to dwindle. The Allied forces pushed forward, gaining confidence with each victory. Reyes could see the fear in the eyes of their opponents as they realized they were losing ground. But just as victory seemed within reach, an unexpected turn of events occurred. From the shadows of the asteroid belt, a larger enemy ship appeared, heavily armed and ready to strike. It unleashed a devastating blast, targeting the heart of the Allied fleet. "Watch out!" Reyes shouted, her heart racing. "Everyone take evasive action!" The Allies scrambled to avoid the incoming fire, but the blast struck a nearby Zenthari ship. The explosion lit up the area, sending debris flying in all directions. Reyes felt a wave of despair wash over her as she saw the ship break apart. "Stay strong," the Zenthari leader urged, though his voice was strained. "We can't give up now." Reyes took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their situation. "We need to finish this," she declared. "Let's focus our fire on that big ship. If we take it down, the rest will follow." The Allied forces rallied once more, their spirits ignited by Reyes's determination. They concentrated their fire on the larger enemy vessel, launching everything they had left. Energy blasts filled the air, striking the giant ship with relentless force. With one final push, the Allied forces unleashed a powerful barrage. The enemy ship shook violently, then erupted into a massive explosion, scattering debris throughout the asteroid field. Cheers erupted from both sides as the remaining enemy ships began to retreat. The humans and Zenthari had won the battle, proving that their alliance was stronger than they had ever imagined. As the dust settled, Reyes and the Zenthari leader exchanged a look of triumph. They had faced incredible challenges together and emerged victorious. "This is just the beginning," the Zenthari leader said, his voice filled with hope. "We have formed a new alliance today, one that can stand against any threat." Reyes nodded, her heart swelling with pride. "Together we can achieve anything. Let's build a new future for our worlds." As the Allied forces regrouped, a sense of unity filled the air. They had fought for their survival and discovered a bond that would last beyond the stars. A new chapter had begun, one filled with hope and friendship as they prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead.